Put stop streaming. That was a dumb thing. Yeah.
Start on one.
Yes.
Gain length.
Yes.
But you gain 5 then
Yes.
crash, die.
Yeah. So now we have to check that we have eaten something. Okay. So now here is where that whole part comes. Okay. So now this is a this what we just did here is a more simple algorithm. Collision is a very complex algorithm on 2 dimensions, and it is science. It's like rocket science when it goes to three. But yeah, 3D collisions are very complex. But we'll try to if we I believe that if we walk through it step by step, we'll get there. Okay, and if you are able to make a good algorithm for 2 dimensional collision, you are better than most people that work on tech already. Most people that have a job in tech already. So I hope that this brings confidence more than anything, you know? So first, we have 2 bodies. All right? Bodies, and you will learn about physics too, by the way. Let's just go from zero, okay? And there's a lot of elements to these bodies, okay? But let's just go. We have 2 bodies. That's it, right? The bodies. What is the properties of the bodies?
What do you mean? Like,
What is true about these bodies? Okay, they're there, right? But what does that mean? What does it mean to be there?
they take space.
Take space. Okay, that's one. So that they take space, that is that they have width and a length. Okay,
Oh yeah.
width. Yeah. Width. They have, in this case, we could say length, but I'm gonna say height. Okay, they have width and they have height. Okay. Okay. What else?
Uh, they're square.
There. I mean, yeah. That is way more complex too. But we'll say that they have a shape. Okay. Okay. So they have a shape because this could be a circle too, right? Shape. It actually the most. Maybe I should go with that. Actually, yeah. Let's not make them squares. Yeah, let's make them circles to get started because circles are way easier.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with circles first, and we'll go into squares after because you just made it remind me that squares require geometry. Okay, so geometry is gonna make things a lot harder. Circles are way more simple. So let's go with circles first. Take yours. So the shape is important, right? But okay, so let's go back and let's go to the dimensions of a circle, right? The circle has diameter, radius, right? Has radius and also has diameter, but we'll say it has r, right? Circle has r. This circle has r. Okay, so then with what Ezra said, we just decrease the amount of things that we have to take into account from 2 to 1, right? The rectangle has 2 things that we worry about, width and height. The circle only has radius, right? So it only has one thing that we need to worry about. Okay, so we have 2 things. So we address the shape. Okay, now we address the shape. We address dimensions, right? Dimensions. Okay, what else?
Uh, dimensions and can they collide?
Well, can they? Can they? Now that's the question. But we're missing one more property for bodies in existence. What is the difference between this guy and this guy?
So they have.
Nope. Let's say that they have the same diameter. Let's say these two are
They're on a different plane,
not plane,
different area on the plane.
different position. That's position. Okay, they have different positions. Okay, that's that's the magic word, position. Okay, if we put them on x y axes, right? Let's say the x y axis is here. Okay, they exist in different. So
Oh right, yeah. Stupid.
Oh, you're not stupid, no? Yeah, right.
Right.
Listen, I didn't figure out this stuff for a long time, so don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, like, changing position.
Yeah, but no, don't worry. The things that, for example, you already did a lot of this, so you take a lot of this stuff for granted. It's
Yeah.
okay. So, like you, for example, this you already coded this a couple times, right? So you don't. What?
Like,
Yeah, but so now the thing is, the rectangles are harder, so we're gonna go with circles first, okay? But yeah, you were doing the kind of like the harder thing first, but it's fine. So we'll start with circles first, okay? So so we have the three things that we need to take into consideration when we're doing collisions. Okay, so it's position, dimension, and shape. Okay, three things. How much time do I have?
right.
7 minutes. Okay, probably not gonna get through this whole thing, but it's something to think about, and we'll address it more in the next class. Uh, so three things, right? So now, what is a collision?
Hitting.
Two things hit each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we say what is to hit?
When there's like positions interact.
Positions interact. The we might overlap. That's an amazing. Yeah, overlap. When their positions overlap. Okay. So when they no more or less better said when these three arguments overlap because it's not only the position because for example I could have this thing same thing and they have different dimensions so if this is here right but if the ball is very small right if this was the position is let's say the center right of the circle and let's say that I dismiss dimensions right I'm going to say that this is colliding with this. It's not, right? Or I also could say, for now, also the shape, I could say that this is not colliding with this because if it's a circle, right, it won't be colliding, right? So you see, if it's a, so if I miss one of these points, I can say things that are untrue, right? So that's why I say that all these factors need to be taken into consideration when we're talking collisions, right? So, and computationally speaking, there's extra factors that I won't get into right now, but those are also very interesting because there's things that you can do on computers that might seem like it's all logically sound, but then in the real world won't make sense. So we need to take those into account. But I won't talk about that right now. But so yeah, but so we address that if we are missing any of this, we are saying things that are not true. Okay? So, and the biggest thing about computers is making sure that the statements that we say are true. I mean, for mathematics too, right? That we want to make sure that we're saying true statements, logical true statements. So now, how do we make this happen? So the easiest way, and if you guys want to give this a try, and I will have to, I haven't done that exact thing on this, but it's not I have done it. It's pretty hard. I mean, it will be pretty hard. I mean, no, it's not that hard. Two dimensions is not that hard. Making it a good algorithm is a bit harder. So, like, if you start and you only have two things colliding, it will work, but it's probably shit. But it's fine. It's fine. Um, no, not even that. Is more that you are overworked. Remember, so the biggest thing in computer science is basically not overworking because just this type of overwork, like saying greater or equal, this greater or equal is an extra step that you have to do for every operation. So if just by adding this thing here, you are doubling your workload. So you want to decrease your workload by as much as you can because when we are running this in the simulation, this will happen like millions and millions of times, right? So if we say like this happened like a million times in the recurrence of our simulation, just by doing this, it's happened 2 million times. Okay, so just this one thing is increasing our workload by two, which is a lot. Okay, so the more we decrease this, the best. So that's the that you will only realize once you do it. Okay, So now we're here. How much time? I'll try to just say real quick what this is going to look like. Is that basically there's one problem, okay? And the problem is that this guy needs to check if it's overlapping with this guy, okay? How do I do that? Is I just say like, okay, for circles, simple enough, we can write something here. So we just say, we do the if statement, right? If, and I'll call this C1, okay? Call this guy C1, C1, C C2. C1, if C1 dot position, right? Dot position plus dot position, and I'll say dot position X, okay? The X position, right? If the X position of this guy plus the radius plus R, I'll just say plus R, is uh is what would it be? It is
Equal to angle.
no. So let me just think about this real quick. So it's if the dot plus that, if the x position plus that, it's also the minus one, true, but equals x plus that is lesser, yeah, is lesser than C2 position minus uh, radius, then that is the first condition. Okay, so what am I saying there? Is I'm saying that if this is the case, that I have the other circles here, right? And the position of the circle on the x-axis minus the radius is here. It is, if this is lesser than this, then I have an overlap there on the x-axis. But, okay, so this is just one. We need to do it for 4 things, and I'll let you think about the other 4 things. Why? Because let's say that this right now, at the current moment, is true, but what if this guy is here? This condition is still true, right? But they're not touching.
So I have to do y.
Exactly. You have to do it for y and x, and you have to do it for plus and minus. Why? Because I could be on the other side too, 2-dimensional. That's the meaning of it. So you have to address this on all dimensions. So that's what the statement looks like. You need to basically do 4 lines of this. Just using, I believe Python is just going to be and. So basically you do this and there's 3 other lines that follow this. I'll let you think about what those lines are, but it's basically the other geometrical properties of that. They're the easiest to do for the circle, and I think there's even an easier way. Maybe there's also an easier way actually for circle. There's an even easier way. So this is what I would do for a square. This is actually wrong. My bad. This is for a square. Well, the thing is just that the yeah, my bad. So actually, yeah, that's what I would do for a square. My bad.
Oh,
Yeah, that's for a square. There's an easier one for a circle. Things that I never even end up doing circles because of that, but whatever. So for the circle, basically you just do this. So you have this and this. You have this and this. So you get one position. You get one position, right, and the other one. You get both the positions.
for a certain range of the radius.
Exactly. Yeah. So you get this position, right, and you get that position. You get the difference between the 2 positions, right? That gives you that gives you this. You do the Pythagoras to get this, and if this is less, so if the hypotenuse is less than the length of both the radiuses, then they're touching, and that's for all. That's geometry. Yeah. So that is for circles. That's why circles are the easiest, right? Because you just do Pythagoras, and so basically you would do this operation, and then you would say if the if h is lesser than R1 plus R2, then they're touching. Okay?
Yeah.
Simple as. Okay? So now, no, sorry, but well, yeah. So this for circles, easy. Now for this, now when I talk about squares, then you have to do those other four statements. Okay?
Or side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my bad on that. So that I was prepared to do basically squares, but yeah, circles are easier because circles you just do this. Now I gave you the first statement for a square. Now see if you can figure out what the other statements for that are. And next also is the implementation. The implementation, one thing is to do it here. Now the second thing is to do the implementation and to think that I'm already over time, but whatever. So this the next problem is that you don't have only two things, you have multiple things.
Yeah.
So think about that you have this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. And the thing is that each guy needs to know where all the other guys are. So this guy needs to know if he's colliding with any of them. This guy needs to know if he's colliding with any of them. This guy needs to know if he's colliding with any of them. So the amount of operations is huge because each individual needs to know where all the other individuals are to know if there's a collision. So how do we do this? This it is this is the collision loop, but I'll talk about that next time. Okay, so that's that geometry, and this. So now think about that, and now think that that is the simple geometry. Now think if you have something like, oh, if you had a body like that, how do you tell that something is here and is not colliding? Right? That can get pretty crazy, okay? And that is only in 2 dimensions, right? 3 dimensions, right? You don't only have to take into account all that stuff, rotations. Well, actually, you take rotations into account here too, but I mean, you just have to take into account a whole other plane to be able to do 3 dimensions, right? But it's pretty cool stuff. Okay, that's it for the class. Yeah. Well, I hope you liked it.
Did nice. Yeah. Very cool. Happened to not have my English class today because he's going to jury duty.